My sermon today is Listen to the Small, Still Voice Within. How many times have you said or thought, I should have gone with my first mind, or I ignored my gut feelings. I just had a hunch about that situation. We've all experienced this, but often we ignore our voice, not realizing that it is another connection to spirit. We have something within us alerting us to the paths, the people, or circumstances that are uniquely needed in our lives at that very moment. But we often second guess that hunch. We don't pay attention to that inner voice. The busyness of life, we have things we have to attend to. Usually the busyness of life takes precedence over listening to the voice within. I ignored my small, still voice within while driving one evening at dusk. And I heard distinctly, turn around right here. And I answered, no, I'm gonna keep straight and hang a right. And that's exactly what I did. I kept straight, I hung a right, and I had a car accident. I didn't listen, and I not only put myself in danger, but I put everyone in the car in harm's way. Listen to that small, still voice that comes to you. When we listen to the God within, we often avoid pitfalls, challenges, and undue havoc. How many times have you been rushing to get to work, or an appointment, or a meeting, and you can't find your keys, or you can't find that document you need, or you can't find your glasses? The busyness of life is taking precedence again. And more times than not, we react from franticness. We turn our whole world upside down, looking, searching, pulling stuff out of drawers, knowing that it's here. Well, those times, those minor inconveniences, I often associate that with my voice within. I see these temporary setbacks as my voice saying, you need to pause. Take an extra 20 or 30 seconds and breathe. I see these as moments that God within is saying, slow down, take a breath. When we listen to God within, when we listen to that small, still voice, this helps us emotionally, spiritually, and physically. It also demonstrates God consciousness within us, and we achieve a higher spiritual level when we pay attention. Sometimes you might be walking down the hall, you had just locked the door, shut the door, and you're walking down the hall, and you hear, go and check the door. You're like, I know I checked the door. I know I locked the door. Sometimes that small, still voice comes and it's about the delay. Who knows the reason why you needed to delay? For some reason, you needed to delay going and getting in the car. Sometimes we hear that voice and you needed to delay getting out of the building. Sometimes it's about the timing. So when you hear that voice, go back, check the door, listen to the voice, and as you listen, you will start hearing it more and more. As spiritualists, we know that we are responsible for our actions, for our thoughts and our words. And by listening to the small, still voice within, we are allowing our seventh principle to work and manifest in our lives. We affirm the moral responsibility of individuals and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. By paying attention to our inner voice, we are bringing peace into our lives. We are helping to increase happiness in our lives. We are obeying the spiritual, natural, and spiritual laws. And we are helping to decrease havoc in our lives. We are allowing Spirit to help guide us, and we are elevating our God consciousness. Become aware of your sixth sense. And I use sixth sense because we put so many labels on that voice within. By becoming aware, we then won't ignore our first mind or push down that gut feeling when our body tenses, reacting to something unpleasant or not good for us. We will have the awareness to know, let me think about this. We will have the awareness to know, let me think and listen to this voice that's coming within. The law of awareness is striving to become aware of the spiritual laws that help govern our lives. Strive to become aware that we are all connected to Spirit. When we have this awareness, we realize that we are not alone. We realize that we are part Spirit, and we realize our connection to God, and that we have the guidance within us. We can sometimes be surprised when our inner voice speaks. Just the other day, I was feeling overwhelmed. Life was busy, and I was thinking, how can I do it all? How could I accomplish all that I had set into motion to accomplish? Now, a couple of days before me becoming overwhelmed with life, I had a talk with a friend. She was struggling with several major challenges in her life. She talked and I listened, hearing what she was going through. I had given her several resources that would help her on her journey. Towards the end of our conversation, I felt that I had shown her and demonstrated to her that she was not alone and that I was there for her. And then we said our goodbyes. Now here I was, feeling overwhelmed. And I picked up my phone to play a game. This is one of the ways I de-stress. So I tapped my phone and a Zen phrase popped up. And it read, I am with you. You are not alone. Those were the same words that I had used with my friend. And when I read it, it caused me to chuckle. It caused me to laugh. And immediately, I felt a shift in my energy. Immediately, I realized one step in front of the other. Immediately, I realized the God within is there with me, helping me make this journey. And I knew I was not alone. That voice can come in various ways. It can come in dreams. It can come in visions from a stranger, or it can come from within. As we become more aware of the voice within, the more awareness we experience. It's like we open a portal. We look at life with a different perspective, seeing and hearing with the ears and eyes of our spirit. This different perspective leads to a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of being. We become more adept at recognizing guidance, more adept at listening and hearing our inner voice, listening to the God within, which brings more harmony, more joy, peace, and love into our lives. And who doesn't want that? As we expand our connection with the voice within, it increases. We learn to trust the small, still voice even more. As I bring my sermon to a close, whatever you label it, whatever you call it, pay attention to your small, still voice within when it speaks to you. Bless you.